I drove to Squamish. I thought I could spend some time on a farm, doing some little farming uh, work, on my body. In the morning, I had chiropractor, and it was a painful experience, but a pleasant one as a conversation with a chiropractor. I discovered at the first session actually that he's a small guy body wise, but he is big or bigger than he thinks. And it was a little bit deeper conversation, kind of a soul to soul. And it helps to see the world with different type of mindset. And I stopped here. I went for a walk, and I did record something for people in my home country regarding how you see the miracles. And I'm going to say that in English now for those who are on my channel for some time and who maybe enjoy. If you enjoy my little adventures, I'll let you listen to these birds. You see, they are not flying. I don't know if you see this one, it's right here. And she see me, of course. And one just pooped, right? Yes, that one. And let me see what you see in the camera. Yeah. And the interesting thing on this property is that the animals are not afraid. Are not afraid. It's like they know humans, and they know that the humans who come here are peaceful. And it's very interesting. Last weekend, I went on that little road, which is on the private property, and there was a big herd of deer and male deer. I forgot. They're not moose. I don't know what is that, but and they were like maybe 40 or 50. I could see them in like in almost dark, but I could see like they were that number, maybe 40 or 50, and they crossed from the creek here through that forest and probably heading to the mountains. And I thought it was so cool. I never saw so many at once. And the farmer here told me that before they installed the electric fence, the deer would not jump the fence. But once they started to do kind of a biologic or organic farming, the deer would jump over the fence and eat the crops. And now for some time they installed electric wiring just above the regular fence to prevent the deer to jump over and eat the crops. And I thought, okay, that was interesting because someone said something similar. Someone from Europe, same thing. When they started to change the fertilizer, they realized that the deer are eating the apples from one orchard, but not from the neighbor who did not use the same type of fertilizer. I said that's kind of odd, but now the farmer who's a scientist right here uh, agrees that yeah, it happens to our little farm, and that's why we put electric fence. So the animals are not aggressive. There are links here. One I saw one picture just behind the building. They posted on their calendar links. So all sort of stuff, and you hear the birds. You hear the birds. And now I'm here for a little walk, and I see miracles everywhere. And I see in the water droplets, I see this stuff, and I see at the moss, and I went to record the moss using the other camera, my back camera, which has a zoom, and I can zoom into the fiber of the moss and the leaves and everything in detail. And I see this with amazed eyes, and I'm going to make a shorter video this time. We'll give you an analogy, and I'll tell you something which is more of a spiritual. If you start noticing the miracles in your life and realize that these miracles don't happen by themselves, just like that. In the past, I thought stuff that happened to me, they were coincidences. I tried to deny the existence of a God because I had this agnostic type of mindset. And when people in that country were all, like most of them, they were religious, attending church and worshiping God and Jesus or whoever, I thought, you know what, this is like just a cultural and social stuff. People grew up and they were forced to go to the church and worship, but I don't think they really believe or if God exists. It's just like, it's you do your thing on a Sunday or in the evening, and so I try to deny and find all sort of explanation, scientific explanation to deny the existence of God. And I've been through miracles. You can call those miracles, but at the time I thought it was just an unfortunate incident or event in my life. And yeah, I was lucky. And I never had this. I was not educated, like I was not taught. I was not taught gratitude. So gratitude for me was like, yeah, you say thank you because someone give you something, and it was more of a parents' push to be nice and polite, so you don't appear like not only impolite, but some guy like a farmer boy who have no education and have no manner. So more of that was the reason behind my thankfulness and behind my politeness to others, was not really coming from the heart. And when it's not coming from the heart, I'll tell you something which is more of a spiritual. You open the heart with different vibrations, so let's call it chakra, heart chakra opens up, intensifies, and now you broadcast different type of information which spiritual beings are able to notice. You don't have to believe in that. This could be just some crap. I'm making stuff up now. But coming back to more of a real stuff, it took me years and years to realize that I'm still alive. After I had some experiences that kind of woke me up, made me to realize, yeah, I had some close calls, and interesting. And if you talk to healers, if you talk to healers who have been through ups and downs, mostly downs, and they managed to get back up. So they did not get stuck into their lows. They did not get stuck into drugs or something. So I never do drugs, I never did, but say lots of healers went through this type of path in their search to deal with their emotional or mental pain. And so I'm just showing you some stuff that most people don't see because they don't have the mind eye to see. while I'm talking about miracles that most people don't recognize. Why? Because they don't have the mindset. And so these healers tell you their stories. If they want to impress you, they will tell you the stories like, yes, I've been raped and molested as a kid and lived through foster parents and been bullied in school and my brother raped me or something or all sort of nasty stuff. And now I'm a healer and I'm being able to heal people. Yes, yes, yes. So those who've been through pain, if they manage to get away from that, and I would say to get away from the devil's claws, because the devil is it's a real entity, but it's not real for us to see. We just see the effects of the devil, and psychologists would give you their scientific explanation, which is fine. It works too if you take that one, as long as you grow and as long as you use that explanation to get out of your misery, your pain. And the healers try to convince you, not to convince you, but try to give you some picture that they know the pain. So if you are in pain and suffering, they found a way to get out and they can help you. And it's true, it's true. But there is this type of way when you deal with a healer for the first time, or maybe you read their website, you will see some sad story. And that may give you some hope that if this person got out from this hole, probably myself who have some alcohol addiction, or I just want to recover after my divorce or something, I'm nothing. This person was in a deeper hole, so probably this healer can help me. So that's the way the healers approach their new clients. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying people can heal that way, or you can heal by yourself by noticing every miracle in your life. And when you are open that way, then you start feeling loved, feeling love from some invisible entity, because you are still alive and you were given the chance. But depends how you see it. You can say, oh, God kept me alive so I can suffer for longer. That's stupid to think that way. You will never heal that way. That's evil in your mind talking, making you think and say bullshit. So you need to fill your mind with loving thoughts. You have the choice. You have the choice to fill your mind with garbage, or keep that garbage like a pile of bullshit in your head, or replace that one with loving thoughts. It's your choice. If you want to get out of your misery, this is my suggestion. You need to rebuild your mental attitude. You need to rebuild the way you see the world. And by noticing the miracles, it will help you to transform and see the God all around, or God's work all around. If you don't see God, you feel very alone. In your darkest moments, you will feel very, very alone. And your friends, or made up or fake friends, will leave you. You will feel alone when nobody is there to hold your hand. But when you feel love, or you learn how to open to love, God will be there to show you the way. And again, you don't need to take my spiritual talk here. I'm saying that I've been through transformation and I'm still on my transformation, and I found some ways. Yes, and I'll give you the analogy I suggested to someone earlier. How you see the miracles. Um, I'll give you one of those um, life experiences, the way healers talk. Probably I mentioned that in one of my other videos. Um, when I was, I think, 3 years old, yeah, about three, I saw where my mom was storing the sleeping pills, because I saw my mom eating sleeping pills, but I didn't know what those about. But I saw something like a little tiny colorful things she was taking. She had some insomnia, uh, and when they left, I don't know where they went. My parents went somewhere. I took a chair, climbed, and I got to the medicine storage, like a kind of a cupboard, and opened it. I found the bottle, the little container, and my sister was there. My sister was a year and 8 months younger, so she was maybe 2, and yeah, if she was 2, maybe I was 4, or maybe, yeah, about like that. And so now I got to the honey jar, and I was sharing. I gave her peel. I took 2 because I'm older, so I deserve more. I found a treasure, so I keep more. One more to her, probably 2 or something more for me. So I ate those sleeping pills. And to shorten the story, I ended up in a coma, deep sleep. I don't know what was that. Ended up in a hospital after a journey. My auntie carried me on her arms for a couple of kilometers because at the time was no taxi, no car. Like the driver dropped her off far from the hospital. It was someone like she found. So like she was hitchhiking with a baby in her arms. Living in a countryside, yes, those days. What phone you're talking about? What ambulance you're talking about? And so finally someone stopped and gave her a ride, but she has to walk maybe 6 kilometers or 4 or something. It's like a several kilometers till the hospital, where they did some tube clean up shit. And yeah, I made it back alive, but there was a few more, because telling you, God lives into a no time. Uh, we can say space where God resides, but there is no time like it's here. So those entities can see the future, and they saw what's in me, and not exact future because I have the freedom to choose, but the possibilities and where I was going, where I was heading. I don't know how God works, but to me it makes sense. And yeah, so I've been through some other things. That was nothing. I just gave you one, just because um, after a number of years, I realized that I've been through miracles. Like I'm still alive, and how come and why? So if I just wonder that I'm alive and I've been through some close calls, then the next question would be why. It's like okay, yeah, it's good. Thank you, God, for keeping me around. Someone in suffering would say, oh yeah, thanks God for keeping me in a shithole. Yeah, so those who are not able to see the beauty. They see only the pain, because the evil in their mind is keeping them thinking that way, gives them feelings and emotions that keep them in that hole. And they will never get out of that hole because of that thinking, because that evil in their mind. And so the next question was why? Why is that? Probably I have a purpose. Maybe I have a purpose. And that's a different topic. We'll talk about that later. But now coming back to the way to start noticing the miracles. And if you think that an alien who is designed to see the world, their world, differently, maybe an alien living into a jelly planet, everything is gel, and they eat gel, probably they don't even have stomachs, they just survive on that gel, and they take the energy from the gel and they swim in the gel, and that's their whole life. Or like people into a hellish place, people who come back from certain life-altering experiences, maybe a coma, deep coma, or a clinical death. Some reports this type of hellish place where people are all suffering, are all in mental pain, in distress, and they cannot get out of there. And freaking some beautiful places. And they cannot get out of that space. They don't know where they are, and there is no way to travel back in time or in space to escape. It's like, okay, I'm being put here. They don't realize how they got there, and it's all suffering, and everyone around is suffering. And you see that into certain worlds here on Earth, like homeless communities. Here in the Vancouver area, there is a famous street. Hundreds of homeless people living in clusters. Tents everywhere, no tents, boxes. People surviving, and nobody gives a crap about it. I mean, there are some NGOs who kind of feed them, because NGOs are in business to feed those and shelter those, and becomes their normal. It becomes a routine even for the workers involved in the NGOs. But those people live into a hell, and they get used to it. Then another day comes, another cold night, another rainy day, and they cannot escape. It's a hell on earth. They cannot escape. If you give them money, the money is gone by the night. Money is gone. Evil makes them, even in their mind, it makes them use money to get the tiny droplet of pleasure they might get from drugs. But it's a painful world, and we don't see it. We don't have the power to see that. So I saw that because I opened my mind to see through the barriers of the mind that blocks most people to notice those people pain. Yeah. And I posted on my YouTube, I posted a bunch of videos, me driving through Hastings. But only few viewers can see the pain. For other people it's entertainment, for other people it's just interesting, curiosity. But you have to have the power to zoom in, stop, zoom, stop in time and space, and zoom and see the hell those people live through. Right? Then you come back, zoom out, and stop in your mind and see the miracle that you are not down into the hell. And you will say, oh yeah, but I worked my ass, to do this, universities. Telling you, people with master degrees are dealing with drugs and crap like that, and they live a hell. With their diploma on the wall, they live a hell. And you don't know that because you only see their smile on Facebook. That's the only thing you see. And coming back to the miracle, so these people on the Mashi planet, they don't know anything else. That's their life. They have no way to compare the way we compare in our world. We compare our sadness or happiness to other people. Everything is relative. We compare the colors, we compare the temperature, everything that comes through five senses is something that we have to a reference point we can compare to. So if you want to compare yourself with the people down below and more suffering, you will never get out. You will stay sad all day because you attract sadness or sad events. And these people who have no other reality than this their own home Mashi planet, if they had the chance to travel in space and get down here on Earth or up on Earth, whatever, and they start noticing birds, and they say, "What's that?" And how that thing is moving, if they know the notion of motion. Something is moving. Oh, colors. If they can see the colors, if they can see the colors, they will see colors. They hear the birds. If they can hear the birds, if God put them this one of these senses, like our auditive sense, they could hear this sound. Where the sounds come from? But they won't know much. But they would be in amazement. They won't know what's this sound. But let's say if God keep these people, these aliens with five senses, like we have five senses, it's like, wow, what's that color? What's this thing? What's this that? Then they see water, and it's wow, and they put their little tentacle or something in the water, and if they have the brain like our brain, programmed by this nature or entity, aliens, or maybe God, to feel, to have the curiosity and feel that amazement, they will put their tentacle in the water and they will say, "Whoa, whoa, it's so fun, it's so, whoa." Yes. They would be curious, amazed, puzzled. You know who does that? The children do that. When they come to our planet, from their planet or from their residence, I'm talking no nonsense. I know I'm talking nonsense, but I'm saying anyway. The kids start to explore, and they explore, and they explore. Every day it's a new day of new discovery. And you see some kids with big eyes, like I saw yesterday one at the pool. She's not talking human language. She's studying my emotions, and myself, I radiate love at the time, because I'm not only in awe of her eyes, her tiny body, but like a Filipino type of body, uh, but it's full of life and it's moving. This thing is moving. It's like something put life into this body to animate this body, and now it has curiosity and is studying me and is looking at me, while some other adult comes and other adults like, yeah, because the adult is trying to grab her the kid focus, and the kid looks at me and I don't say anything. I'm just staring with a little bit of smile. I'm staring with love. I was curious to see if this kid is able to detect love. And the kid kept looking at me with this kind of big eyes, amazing, uh, amazing face. And amazement as well, because she discovered some guy with some stuff on the face. And actually the dad actually was not shaved, so probably not the beard was something interesting. Maybe my hair or something, or who knows what she found on me. Maybe my emotions. But what I'm saying, every day a kid is amazed by a new discovery, like these aliens. But why the kid is amazed? Because God or the aliens who designed the human genome, the DNA, installed this program of amazement. So the kid is able to learn. Yeah, that's the reason the kids are learning, are curious, because they have this software installed into their DNA to be open to new stuff and to be amazed and to feel good about that. Otherwise, if it's painful to discover what's in this tree, moss, if you go there and you put your finger, because sometimes you put your finger on some plant and it stings. But luckily, not all the plants are that. And if I'm getting hurt while touching this thing, I would stop my curiosity because I know it hurts. And then I go to this one and this one hurts. And I go to make a step and curious about concrete here or this branch, it hurts. Oh yeah, hurt. And I'll stop being curious. So there are adults who stopped being curious. They were stopped as the kids when the parents said, don't touch that, don't do that. So those adults will grow up just dull when the parents stop the curiosity and amazement. So now I'm a kid because I told myself I'm a kid and I have this virus in my head to be amazed. And I attract love for myself, love for the creator, and feels good.